Welcome to another edition of Stash Talks, and today we're going to be talking a whole year cap review and the Oscars, because they just announced the Oscar nominations. Once again, joining me is my good friend Michael Wante.
Sup?
And once again, he runs War Room Entertainment. At the info section, you'll see a lot. You'll see all the links for all that. But yeah, so what did you think of like last year's movies? Like, there's a couple of stinkers, and then there's like some really great movies.
Yeah, like last year, honestly, there was a lot of good movies, a lot of bad movies, and then there were a bunch of movies that we kind of picked together on.
Right.
We had high expectations,
Right.
And they did not deliver
At all.
At all.
Like, I was really disappointed. Let's just we wrote all this down, so
yeah, we want to keep it human,
right? Yeah.
Okay. So this is in no particular order. In all honesty.
No particular order. But one of the most disappointing movies, in my opinion. I really wanted to like this movie, especially because I love the whole era. But Gangster Squad, it just did not do it for me. Did you watch Gangster Squad?
Yeah, and I'm on the fence about Gangster Squad. Like, I'm all about the gangster cliches because that's just what it is.
I did, but I felt like it was too much. It just felt like they remade Untouchables, and I already don't love Untouchables, so it felt flat for me.
It was awesome action, though. I mean,
yeah, I love Sean Penn,
hot.
and I love Sean Penn as Mickey Cohen.
He was
over the top.
He was a little over the top.
He was over the top, but
I'm Mickey Cohen.
But
I rip people in half with cars.
That's right.
There was some good.
There's some good
openers.
Yeah,
there's some really good stuff in there, but it was a little too cliche, and we've seen it millions of times before. It was just something more for the modern ages, and there were a lot more special effects than any other gangster movie, really.
Yeah, a lot of it seemed fake. I mean, even though, I don't know.
It was very Hollywoodish.
Right, it did look. And I guess that's the look they were going for. But
yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, moving on, though. What's another one?
You know what? Another one that really did not deliver for me is A Good Day to Die Hard. And honestly, that franchise, after the first three, has been just shooting downhill. And I think they need to kill it off or revamp it.
Right.
But
I personally did like part 4.
Live Free or Die Hard?
Right, I liked it.
I didn't like it.
It was okay. I didn't see this new one, though. But I've heard a lot of people were disappointed.
It was pretty bad. Like, it was the whole father-son dynamic duo thing, and it just didn't work out. Too over-the-top action. They should have died several thousand times. The chemistry wasn't great. The action was just kind of cheesy. It was like, whatever. What else do you have?
One movie that I was really looking forward to was Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I think we were all looking forward to Iron Man
3. I went in wanting to love it because I liked the first one. I didn't love the second one.
Second one sucked.
Yeah, I don't even remember it. Like, I just remember watching it. I don't remember it. But the third one, I really, like, right after Avengers, you end on a high note, and hoping that they deliver another great Iron Man movie, and it was super disappointing. Like, it was.
What disappointed
you? There's like a lot of comedy. Part of it also, though, was the movie experience that I had. There was a guy right behind me the whole time, talking and talking and talking the whole movie.
Oh, poor Martin.
No, I'm serious. Like, it takes you out of the movie.
It's true. That happened to me with Spider-Man 3. I sat between a bunch of drunk kids in the smallest theater possible when I was the first in but anyway, that's whatever. See,
so, like, the movie going experience does a lot for me, though. If they're just talking, it takes me out of the movie. Also, though, the movie wasn't that great. Like, I felt like there's a ton of comedy in it, and then like some things that didn't really make sense because like I forgot what it's called, his the thing that's in his chest, right? It powers the suit, yet we see all these suits at the end powered by what? You know what I mean?
By the same thing,
I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was just.
Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes. The Mandarin disappointed to me.
Oh, that was disappointing too.
And it was a good twist. It was a good twist on the character because as you see the Marvel universe, it's just totally changing the way the Marvel universe. There's the comic book universe. There's the movie universe. So it's whatever. And it was a great performance.
Yeah, they don't have to follow the comics but at least be true to the character. You know, like the
Yeah.
Mandarin, that one looked really exciting, and then it
And
was
when
just
you-
like a throwaway character.
Yeah, they kind of threw it. But they're creating a one-shot based on the character, so who knows? He can make a comeback. Maybe he was faking it the whole time. We don't know
Again,
yet. They
like
might
a double
redeem it.
fake.
A double fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what Marvel's known for. You kill someone, you bring them back. But anyway, so let's go to the next one.
Alright.
Another disappointing one for me is Oz the Great and Powerful. Now, it was entertaining. The only sad thing is that they made Oz the powerful Wizard of Oz. They made him this womanizer. You know, this guy that just hits on these
I didn't
witches.
watch it, so
So I mean, it opens up with him. You know, I mean, he's doing magic, whatever. But
Right.
someone accuses him of sleeping with their girlfriend or wife,
uh,
and then he ends up escaping and he gets into Oz, and then he meets this beautiful witch who ends up being the Wicked Witch, and then he falls in love with also the nice witch, and
Jeez.
you know he's this womanizer, and you know this is supposed to be a kid's children's tale,
right.
and it's like, what's up with this guy? You know he's supposed to be more of a role model type guy, but he doesn't seem like the type to change. But I mean, I think there was just the wrong kind of character development into it, so it was kind of a throwaway movie for me.
And that's something I really wanted to watch, but it didn't look appealing to me. Another one was Grown Ups 2. I mean, you don't really have high expectations going into Grown Ups.
I honestly did.
Like,
Okay.
the first one's funny. I like Adam Sandler.
The first one was realistic. The first Grown
Yeah.
Ups was more like, yeah, a bunch of buddies. They're going to a cabin. They have a bunch of friends and kids, and they're just all having fun. There was nothing ridiculous about it. It all made sense. There was nothing.
There's a lot of ridiculous.
The second one, there was ridiculousness all over the place. They took it and tried making it something that it shouldn't have been. To me, I don't know. Say
There-
what? Say what?
There's a couple of funny moments.
That was stupid. to me
Mostly
too. Stupid.
was
Movie.
really dumb.
Please,
There's
Adam
a-
Sandler, redeem yourself.
I think so with this new one with Drew Barrymore. I think it will be good, but who knows?
Hopefully, I don't know. You know what? And this is kind of on the verge of the good and bad list. Was Kick-Ass 2, because I'm a Kick-Ass fan. The comic books are awesome and they're gritty and I love them. The only problem with Kick-Ass 2 for me was they didn't deliver all the scenes that I read in the comic book for Kick-Ass 2. It was condensed. It was short. There wasn't enough blood. There wasn't enough Jim Carrey for me. It would have been better if it was longer and had more content, but they tried making it short and sweet, and it was just short, not sweet. So that was mine. You have another one?
Actually, some of these I haven't seen yet,
I can throw some out.
but like Old Boy, the original film, I loved it.
Awesome.
But what about the remake?
I have not seen the remake,
I mean, a lot of people have been saying that it's terrible.
but one of our associates, also part of War Room, Carlos, he stands by the fact that this was one of the worst movies or biggest disappointments last year. It was
Right.
just something that didn't live up to the original, because the original was a classic.
Right. The one movie I've been wanting to watch, I haven't seen it yet, was Don John.
Don John, I put on the list myself because it was the directorial debut of
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it starts off strong, and you get the whole vibe of his character. Great character development all around.
Right.
It's kind of like telling an awesome joke and not delivering the punchline. That's exactly what this movie was to me. It was like awesome, 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 and then
That's
you're
it?
left hanging. You're like kind of like, why did it end this way? Why did he pick this woman? What's going on? I'm not going to ruin anything, but watch it. Some of you may love it. Some of you may hate it. That's just the way it is. Riddick is also a disappointment to me. It was kind of like one of Vin Diesel's comeback movies. You know,
Right.
it's like Fast. Fast 6 was a pretty awesome
Right,
movie
I love
from
I
last
thought
year.
It was pretty awesome.
And Riddick, you would think maybe on par, because he's the one that actually put it back into development to try and get it
Oh,
back.
right. Yeah.
But it was just a bunch of sci-fi cliches, and it's going back to Pitch Black with a higher budget, and there was nothing new to me, and I think it could have been way better. So I mean, those are the disappointing movies of 2013.
So those were our disappointing films of 2013. There's a couple of really bad ones that we want to highlight really fast. We won't go into super detail, but I know you saw the movie 43.
Movie 43 is horrible.
Wow.
Movie 43 sucked. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because it was one of those movies where you were like, okay, you already know what it's going to be. You know it's going to be stupid, slapstick, ridiculous kind of scenarios. And they set it up with an amazing cast. One of the biggest, awesome...
I've never seen so many people in one movie.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And all the roles that they play, like Gerard Butler as this little leprechaun. And you know, just crazy... Yeah, it's crazy. There's some funny... There were a few funny things where you're like, oh, that was kind of funny. But it's a lot more offensive and not funny. It's tasteless. There's things that these stars do that you're like, did you really do that to get a paycheck? You know, like, it was disappointing.
That's sad.
It was one of those where you walk in, you watch a scene, and you're like, nah, I want my money back, and you walk out. So that was
kind of glad I didn't watch it.
What about you? Did you have a disappointing one?
Like really
bad, like your ultimate. Maybe not your ultimate, just one of them.
Right, I'm trying to think. I guess I would say I'll have to stick with the Gangster Squad. Like
I'm talking like crappy movie, like
Gangster crappy Squad? Movie? No, it's not a crappy movie.
Something you went and watched, or did you avoid all the crappy ones?
I did kind of avoid all, like, because I even avoided some of the good ones that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I avoided a lot of the crap that was coming out. Like one that was like really stupid but fun was White House Down. That one was stupid, but it was fun.
I preferred a different movie, which I'll mention later.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I really had a really stupid movie that I went to go see.
Mama was pretty stupid.
I didn't see that.
See, and me, I want to see all the movies to let you guys know what's good and bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm not that.
Some of you have common sense and know what not to waste your money on, so that's good. Yeah. Wait till the dollar movies, wait to rent it, or just don't watch it at all because it's a waste of your time.
Yeah. But on to our favorite films of 2013. The way we're going to do this is you say your number 10, and I'll go 10. Just like we'll go back and forth like that.
We'll go back and forth, yeah. and these aren't some of them aren't critically acclaimed.
No,
but these are the favorite movies that we were like, you know what, I love this movie.
Yeah, and I can watch it again and again and again. Yep. It's something. Yeah, I mean,
these are the movies you went out on Black Friday and purchased them.
Yeah, these also, some of them are critically acclaimed. These are some of them are amazing. Some of them are just fun, and I think sometimes with movies that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
All right, so we'll start with my top, on my number 10.
Well, actually, let's start with the ones that almost made the list.
Okay, so I'll start with my honorable mention, which was Olympus Has Fallen. And that was on my honorable mention because it's not a great film. You can tell that it had a decent budget, great actors that don't really get to be A-listers or C-listers. They're more B-list kind of actors.
Right.
But it was fun. It was action-packed. A lot of gritty violence, kind of like going throwback action films almost. And it's just it could be unrealistic the way it happens. Getting
that's
attacked.
a movie I wanted to see. I didn't see it, but I wish I did.
It's on Netflix actually right now, so make sure you watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
All right. So mine would be one I really wanted to put in my top 10, but I really loved all these other movies, so it just had to be bumped off. Blackfish. It's a documentary. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen it.
It's about orca whales, and it's really sad. All the things that they go through. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of abuse. You see a lot of the inside where nobody ever wanted to talk about. People are coming forward and talking about it. So it's really, really good. One of my friends has seen it since she watched it like 2 weeks ago. She's seen it like 5 times already.
Oh, dang.
Because it's on Netflix, so check it out.
I'm going to check it out.
It's really good. It's really good. But
okay.
Number 10.
All right. So my number 10 film, if I can find it here, is 42. 42 was an awesome film.
I loved it.
Great acting. It was one of the first films of the year, so I can see how maybe it was missed. It could have been thrown into the Oscar season.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great films this year.
Oh, yeah. We'll get back into that later,
yeah.
But 42 was my number 10.
Yeah. 42 didn't make my top 10 list, but it's damn good. It's really good. My number 10 is The Way, Way Back. I really love that film. I think people were overhyping it a little bit after they saw it. I still enjoyed it. I loved it. Sam Rockwell has a solid performance. Toni Collette and Steve Carell are like Steve Carell surprised me in this movie.
Huh.
Complete opposite of what he's ever played.
Different attitude.
Different. I loved it. Solid performances, great story. But yeah, they made my number 10. So
I didn't get to see it. It's one of the few movies that I missed last year, and hopefully I get to see more this year.
Yeah.
So my number 9 is Man of Steel. Now, was it the best superhero film of last year? Yes. It was, I think... I don't think the cinematography was the best. It could have been that. I think that there were a lot of things that was lacking.
Right. Typical Zack Snyder style. So
yeah, and Zack Snyder's a hit and miss.
Right.
He could be on the verge of M. Night Shyamalan status, but
he redeems himself.
He redeems himself like what he did with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It's the best Superman you'll ever see to date in any of the Supermans that have ever been made. So people kind of overlooked that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy about Superman and what he does in the film. But, you know, it's just changing the genre, the style, and doing something good with it. It had its good points, bad points. It made my list, number 9, one of my favorite films of last year.
Yeah. Number 9 for me would be This Is the End. I thought this was like the funniest movie of the year. Just beating out Anchorman.
Sacrilegious.
Yes. But it's hilarious. I mean, it's so surreal because they're all playing themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot, like, they're all talking about real things that everyone else talks about each other.
Yeah.
So it's really fun that they can poke fun at each other that way.
Yeah, the whole movie was like a roast of each other, you know.
Yeah,
it was funny.
And it was great. I loved it. Yeah, it's not the best movie, but it was really fun. I loved it.
My number 8 is Hunger Games, Catching Fire. That was actually a very...
Still haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh. Like, the first Hunger Games is good. And these are these movies that you're kind of like, well, it's a book and teens are going to like it. I mean, but it's not just that. It's great acting. You know, Jennifer Lawrence is amazing. And Woody Harrelson is awesome as well.
And that's what I thought going into that's what I thought going into the first one. But I really liked it, the first one.
First one was good.
So it's great.
And it just got better, you know. So it was a great movie overall. What's your number 8?
Pacific Rim. This is one movie that's been overlooked so much this year.
I think so.
Even like the Academy Awards I don't think nominated for anything.
It wasn't nominated for anything.
Not even special effects, nothing. Mm-hmm. So that movie was so much fun. I mean, I saw it in IMAX, and that was like a whole nother experience. You're like right in the action.
I did it in what's called D-Box motion seats.
Oh
man, that was
I bet you that would have been cool too.
Oh man,
but yeah, Pacific Rim is super fun. It's one of those movies that you just put it in. Hopefully, you have a big screen. Eat some popcorn. But yeah.
Yep. So number 7 is actually Pacific Rim for me. That's my number 7. It was like Martin said, just a great film. I grew up on Godzilla and King Kong and all these monster movies, so to see a modern day version of it, I was just like, yeah, bring it on. Me and my wife went and saw it, and we were just like, Pacific Rim! So it was an awesome movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen it and you like monster movies, kind of cheesy, it's kind of long, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Number 7 for me would be Rush. Rush was a movie I didn't even wanna. I wasn't like, I'd seen the trailer and I'm like, this looks okay. And then I went to go see it, and the acting is amazing. The story is true, and I'm like, seriously, this really happened? Like, it was really good.
And the actors they got were like spot on to the actual racers.
Yeah, and Daniel Bruhl was amazing in that film. So
wasn't he
Chris
overlooked?
Hemsworth. He was
overlooked for an Oscar, I think.
And Chris Hemsworth, I thought he branched out, and I thought he did great.
It was a different level of acting for him to get away from the action and all.
Yeah, and I think he can do a great drama role. So yeah, that was my number 7.
Cool. Let's see. My number 6 is Saving Mr. Banks. Now, this is a movie I got to recently watch after the year ended, and it would have made War Room's top 10 if I had seen it sooner. But it's a great movie, I think. It's the story of how Mary Poppins became a movie. Tom Hanks was awesome. Everyone acted great.
I heard that in the trailers you don't need to see Colin Farrell, and he's great in it.
Oh, Colin Farrell was amazing. I mean, I think anything Colin Farrell does, he's a great actor. sometimes he doesn't choose the best movies, but
Yeah.
he acts the crap out of all his. I wanted to cuss really bad there, but it might have been bleeped out. But he's a great actor. But that movie was awesome. Gets you kind of choked up, and it was a good movie.
All right. My number 6 was Mud. Mud, I loved Mud. It might have not even made my top 10 if I had seen a couple of other movies, but I thought Matthew McConaughey, they're calling it the year of the McConaughey. He like big time comeback.
Big time.
Starting off with Mud. It was just a great movie.
He revamped his whole career.
Yeah, in 1 year.
Everything he's done this last year is amazing.
Yeah. The kids were great actors. Michael Shannon had a little small part. He was great. Yeah, it was a great film.
My number 5 is the film Her. Her was with Joaquin Phoenix, and he's this guy that is in the future, and I would think not so distant future, where you depend on your device for everything, kind of like our cell phones. And he falls in love with a computer. Basically, it's called iOS 1. And it is voiced by Scarlett Johansson, who sounds super sexy, and you never see her, but just her voice and the way she talks, it's a freaky way of looking at how we can throw ourselves into our technology and how much we depend on it, and how emotions can get intertwined with it. So it's critically, it's one of the best films of the year. This makes my list of favorites as number 5.
Cool. Well, my number 4 film of the year was Gravity. Gravity was a complete experience. I want to go see it again in IMAX this time, though. I don't think they're playing it in IMAX, though. But that was an amazing film. It was just it was a visual experience. It was amazing. I loved it.
Sadly, I was sick when it came out, and as soon as I miss a movie in the first weekend, I kind of just overlook it and keep moving forward. So I'm very sad to say, and this may tarnish me, I did not see Gravity. So I'm actually going to go see it probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it would have made my list, I'm sure, on all my lists. I just didn't get the chance to see it. But, whatever. So going to my number 3 film was Prisoners.
Actually, both of our number 3s are Prisoners. So.
Prisoners, perfect, high five.
Yeah, right.
So number 3, that one was a mystery that it kept you guessing and wondering who did what. And honestly, halfway through, I kind of figured it out. I mean, it was still great acting.
Yeah, I saw it on this big screen, and I felt so immersed in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of like push-ins. I don't know.
Cinematography is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm glad that unfortunately that's the only Oscar it's nominated for.
Yeah, it should have been nominated for so much more.
Yeah, but I'm glad it did get that one because the cinematography was amazing.
Yeah.
The story was great.
Hugh
Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal were amazing in it. Did you notice? Because I didn't notice this until the second time I saw it. Jake Gyllenhaal's mannerisms, like the ticking and
he developed. They each developed their own characters, and they put a lot of thought into their acting. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of those guys that grew into this awesome acting, and I don't want to say he does method acting, but he really thinks out his characters and does a great job.
Yeah,
so does Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Awesome movie. It keeps you guessing. It's kind of long too, but it's definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Going on to my number 2 of last year, which basically just got its wide release, is Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor is like, you get to see what happens to our men and women out there that are serving, and it gives you chills. The type of relationship they have, their family, they respect each other, they will die for each other. People know the story already, so going in it, you have to mentally prepare for what you're going to see. And sadly, it's through the eyes of the lone survivor of this outfit. And a lot of things were taken out, I'm sure, from the real story. A lot of it, of course, it's Hollywood.
Right.
It was just really intense. You know what's going to happen, but you just hope it doesn't.
Right.
And it was great acting all around. Everyone did. Mark Wahlberg was awesome. Ben Foster was amazing. He was a dangerous guy that just never quit. Emil Hirsch, I thought that was a comeback movie for him because he's been doing a lot of hit
Dude,
and misses.
I miss him.
Yeah, I miss him, and he did really good in this one.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see Lone Survivor. That's
Came
on
out
my
last
list.
week, wide release.
Right,
So you still got
that's
time.
on my list to watch because I've heard amazing things. But yeah, my number 2 film was 12 Years a Slave. That's a super emotional film, super draining. I mean, that was a film. I have trouble saying his name.
Chiwetel.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Say.
I really hope he gets the Oscar. He's always been like the supporting actor in everything. I've never seen him as a lead. And then the first time he actually gets the lead, he blew me away.
Yeah.
He was amazing in it. I really hope he gets the Oscar. Michael Fassbender was I did not recognize him as the character he was playing. I mean, that was a complete transformation. Steve McQueen is a great director.
Steve McQueen is amazing.
He's coming up. I mean, I love his films. I really do.
Yep.
What's your number 1? I think actually our number 1 is the same thing.
Our number 1 is The Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Martin
Scorsese, and that's his favorite director.
Yeah.
I have to say he's probably my favorite director. Everything. I love it.
So many of the things I've done on my own have been inspired because of him.
Yeah.
But this one just was so It was the way I've put it to people. It's Goodfellas on Wall Street, and that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
In a way, like the story itself was actually very similar to Goodfellas, but it was just so engaging in like the world that they live in. Like that's real.
And the movie actually exaggerated a lot.
Of course, yeah.
Over exaggerated actually, but I mean DiCaprio's performance is freaking awesome.
I mean, it's hilarious too.
Oh,
the movie
man.
is so funny.
All the drugs they do. Jonah Hill was freaking hilarious. I mean, Jonah Hill's really
he's growing as
an actor.
Big time,
you know. Oh man, he's not afraid to take these risks that he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, Wolf of Wall Street. If you haven't seen it, it's a long movie. It's kind of pornographic.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
It's actually dropped so many F-bombs in that film. It's
the
number one
film of
I don't think any other movie has as many
He
F-bombs.
beat his own record, I think. I think the first one was either Goodfellas or Casino. He beat that with The Wolf of Wall Street. But I loved it. It was so
awesome.
It's
movie.
3 hours long. For me it didn't feel like
Didn't feel like it went by for me real quick.
and I want to watch it again just because I loved it so much.
So I mean, those are our top 10 favorite films of
2013. That's a recap of the whole year. We're going to cut this into 2 different videos. So this first video is going to be all the recap of 2013. Our next video will be our Oscar talk, and we're going to, have our own picks of who will win the Oscars.
And this is something we love doing, so we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. So tune in to the next video. I'm pretty sure I'll upload them at the same time. That way they can go one to the other.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode of Stash Talks. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, but you had to get things into motion and get back into the year refreshed. But we're back. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
You talk too much.
I do.